Danny, long trip to Barrow this weekend. How's the week been preparing for it after last week's disappointment?
Yeah, I think we've had a good week. I think for us, always win, lose or draw. It's always to try to work out the whys. Of course, why you win, so that hopefully you can replicate it again. But also when you come up short, to try to understand that as well. And of course, for us at 85 minutes, we're 1-0 up away from home. And I think we could have been pretty happy with our work at that point. But ultimately, we ended up conceding a goal and then another goal in extra time, and we end up losing the tie. And yeah, for us, the nature of the two goals was particularly disappointing. And you know, it doesn't matter how much work, how much effort you put in. If you can see goals like we did on Saturday, then you won't win, and that's the reality. So we have to accept that. We have to understand that. We have to try to work out how we can prevent that going forward, because yeah, we're people that are used to winning football matches, and we haven't won as many games as we would have liked. That's just a fact. And I think with winning comes confidence, which then brings a rhythm and a momentum. And this is something that we're searching for. So what do we have to do? We have to get on the training pitch. We have to work. We have to keep trying to create opportunities for the players physically, technically, tactically, to keep getting returns so that they can find the rhythm that can give them the flow that they need to get to the confidence levels they need to perform at their best. This is our job. I think also we can do some work off the field, which we have been all week, just for the players to keep understanding what their roles and responsibilities are, and also to keep developing their understanding of their own game and how their own game can help the person next to them, the person in front of them, the person behind them, so that it can help the team move and work more efficiently and effectively. And
does that become a little bit harder when a player might have 2 or 3 different players playing next to him, because we haven't probably had the consistency in the team selection that you might have preferred?
Yeah, I think to be honest, David, I think I've been critical of myself at times this season for not being able to find a consistency in selection. If I look back at the 6 promotions that I've had, we've always been able to find consistent team selection, but that also comes with good performances. I say to the players all the time that we select the team, but the players pick the team through the way that they train and through the way that they play. And yeah, probably between us all, we haven't been able to find that consistency. And of course, this can really help in terms of performance, because if you can find a consistent selection that is effective, then those relationships, they're human relationships, player relationships, they build over time. And the more you play together, the better understanding you have, the more chemistry that you get with the people around you. So yeah, I think it's something that we're aware of and mindful of, and you're trying to find that balance. But ultimately, I think it comes through players bringing a good level of consistency. And I think when they do, then you're able to get to a consistent team selection.
Yeah, and what challenges do you feel Barrow bring to whatever side you do select?
Yeah, I think they're a good team. I think they're a team that did well last year. They're well backed, both in terms of support and financially. I think they've added to their group this summer, signed some young players on long contracts who have done very, very well. I think they've changed quite a lot in terms of their philosophy. Obviously a change in manager. Last year they were very much a back 5. They sat in, played on the counter-attack. This year they're taking games to the opponent, playing a 4-2-3-1. They press really aggressively with a real energy, and they play through the opponents and have a lot of pace on the attacking line. Had a brilliant start to the season. Barrow is always a really, really tough place to go. So we're going to have to pack all of our determination, all of our resilience, if we want to get a positive result.
Yeah, you talked about resilience there. Recent away games in the league, Chesterfield, Port Vale, we got very, very good draws. What's that extra little bit missing to go away from home and come back with all 3 points?
Yeah, well, I think you're right. I think that away from home are good qualities to have in the group, and I think we do have those. But yeah, ultimately to turn those draws into wins, then yeah, just keep working on our team from an offensive point of view, keep working on our rhythm, and also being a little bit more ruthless on the counter attack. I think always when you're away from home, if you defend well, then good attacking moments happen as a consequence of good defensive work. And of course, we know how far the travel is. You know, it's a Northern League, this one, so we know that we will have to do a fair amount of travelling this year, but we also know our supporters will travel as well. And you know, we in the club, I think, are not feeling sorry for ourselves, because we're just working really, really hard to try to resolve the position that we find ourselves in. But we do feel sorry for our supporters, because we know that, you know, the team and the club have suffered for a long period of time now, a lot longer than the time that we've been at the club, and yet game after game they come and they support, they travel up and down the country. You know, even at Swindon on Saturday, you lose in extra time after being 1-0 up with 5 minutes to go, and still at the end they're clapping and they're behind you. And I think that says everything about the loyalty and about the level of support that we have here. And I think it's something that we all should be really proud of, but it's something that we should never take for granted. And ultimately, you know, I do believe in these tough moments you learn a lot about the people around you, and we need one another. That's a fact. The players need the supporters, particularly when they're having a difficult moment and it's not quite going for them, and maybe they don't quite have the rhythm and the flow that we've already spoken about. That's when they need the supporters, just to stick with them, just to see the best in them, to keep willing them on. And I know our supporters will do that, and that in itself is something that we all really appreciate, and it's something that's, I think, actually really powerful. And you know, we've spoken about it this week, that we know that we have to do all we can to be successful for ourselves, but also for our supporters, because we have to, you know, I always believe when people are loyal to you and are good to you, you have to repay them with good performances.
Yeah, and does it add another level of preparation, these 5 and 6 hour journeys? A lot of other clubs their long journeys might be 2.5, 3 hours, as much further because of where we're located. Does it add
Yeah, do you know what? Because I'm an Essex boy, I never feel like Colchester is off the beaten track. I used to always think Lincoln was really off the beaten track. But actually Colchester, when you look at it, geographically it is, because it takes an hour to get to the M25 invariably. And for us just to get to Cambridge, it can, you know, this year it's taken us up to 3 hours just to get there. So yeah, I think we had 2 long trips early in the season, the Morecambe game and the Accrington game, and yeah, I think we had maybe 8 hour plus journeys, which is not great preparation when you're playing the next day. So yeah, we've adapted it slightly in more recent weeks, and we've travelled en route, we've trained en route, which can just reduce the amount of travel. So we'll do that again tomorrow, and just try to give ourselves the best possible chance of being able to perform at our best come Saturday.